Welcome back to Whitt Acres. Today I need to fix a problem I'm having with my duck house. My ducks are over here inside this pen where they have their pools and bowls of water so they can have access back into the barn, into another pen that I have set up for them for the winter. I didn't feel that the triangle house was enough for them to stay warm during the cold winter we're having. Hey ducks. But over the holidays we had some high winds which tipped over my duck house, so it fell over onto the fence. It was a good thing I had all the ducks already inside the barn so no one was injured, and the duck house held up pretty fine too. Me and my dad came out and we tipped it back over onto some tires to keep it from landing too hard, and then pulled the tires out and shimmied her back into place. So there's no harm done on the duck house, but I don't want that to happen again. If I'm going to be putting the ducks in here again in the spring, I need to get it secured to the ground. So this year I want to focus on some of the infrastructure around the property. I want to get my chicken coop built with the run. I want to get the back enclosure built and fenced in around the barn here, as well as getting a chicken tractor built so I can take the meat chickens across the grass. Hey pup, you got your ball there? So my plan to secure this house to the ground is to use some pipe here. I have some pipe that was left in the barn. I want to put a hole through this pipe that I'll be able to fit a nice large screw or lag bolt through, that I'll then be able to secure through the pipe and into this wooden footer here. I have one here, one in the middle and one in the back. I think if I just do 2 places, that should be sufficient. But I'll drive the pipe into the ground with a sledgehammer. And this pipe is about, I'd say 32 inches long, so I'll get it as deep as I can, and whenever the hole lines up, I'll put a bolt straight through into the wood, and I think that should hold the house in place from tipping over. I'm going to take the pipe down to the garage where I can hold it nice and secure with a vise and get the drill press to put a nice straight hole through the pipe, and then I'll bring them back up here and pound them into place and try and get everything nice and secure up here for the duck house. We got Mumbles just chilling over here, and I just saw a hawk land in our poplar tree across the way. He's right there. I'll circle him, but I can see him through the maple tree, and he's sitting in the poplar tree, eyeballing my birds. That's why I have the string and the duck array up. So far it's been keeping the hawks deterred enough from swooping in on any of my flocks. Up, up. If you see that bird flying, you'll be after him too. Right when I was about to go back to the house and do some other work, and a hawk swoops by, makes me want to stay out here a little bit longer just to keep the birds comfortable. Right now my ducks are staying in the outdoor pen. They got their bowls and their pools filled up with water, and they got the hay down to keep them out of the mud. They also have access now to come into the barn to the indoor pen where the pigs were, but now it is all set up for the winter pen for the ducks. I have the hay bales all around the exterior walls to keep it nice and cozy and warm. They have real thick bedding of mulch hay and pine shavings. I have it barricaded with some logs to help keep this area dry from the wet area. The wet side will get completely cleaned out when this side gets treated more as a deep bedding method. I have the 2 pools in here to help keep the water contained, and it has been helping a good bit. I still have to put some mulch hay down here to keep this area nice and clean. I have their food raised up on a little rack there to keep it out of the dirt. And right now I am running a hose through their window across and into the 65-gallon tank that I have inside the barn here. I'm filling that up because that's what I use for the animals out here. So since I have a bank barn here, I'm actually underground on the back wall, so it doesn't freeze inside the barn here as quickly as it does outside. So as long as I drain this hose out with water, I can still fill up from my rainwater harvest tank outside to get water inside to the animals whenever it's freezing outside. The chickens are still living in the stall over here, and they got their food, water, and new nesting boxes. They're living comfortable. They even get the luxury of going out into the grass bubble out there, which the ducks don't get. I actually do go around and pick some grass for the ducks to keep that in their diet because they don't actually have access to the grassy area right now, because the chickens terrify them. And if I leave the chickens with them, the chickens will go into their space and split up the ducks, and they'll all panic and they'll be screaming. So I try and keep the chickens separate from the ducks just to keep the ducks and the Mumbles flock a little bit more comfortable. So they have this little fence bubble here. The chickens have an entrance and the ducks have an entrance. Just trying to keep everybody happy. So as that tank fills up, we'll get to work on the house. I'm going to walk towards them and try and spook them out. There he goes. You didn't go too far. So I got a new microphone, but I had to film this whole intro video twice because I tried to use this and nothing happened. Gotta get used to it, I guess. So we have this old drill press I can use, and I think it still works. Alright, it works. I just have to get this out of here. I don't see a chuck anywhere. I think another drill that we have has a chuck on it. There's one. So we'll take this big bit out. I'll need something that size. And we'll try and find one that's gonna work. Thinking probably... So my longest screw is 3.5 inches. So I need to find a drill bit that's going to be just bigger than this screw. Found it. We'll get this one in there. Huh? I think that'll work. All right, we got the posts pounded in. They're about 2.5 feet into the ground, and I have 2 of them on the wind side of the house, so I think that's gonna work for any storm that we have. I feel pretty good about putting the ducks out here now for the spring. So my next project is gonna be building the chicken tractor for the meat chickens coming next year. That's all for this one. If you wanna see more from Whitt Acres, go ahead and subscribe down below. Hit that like button before you leave. Check out the description with all my other channels. Make sure you're subscribed to all of them and get everything coming out from Whitt Acres. Check out my online store as well with nature-inspired designs made for nature lovers and get yourself something nice. You can see me and Echo on the next one. Thanks for watching.